The Cheeseboy628 Show, starring Cheeseboy628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy628 here today giving you an OU tier Wi-Fi battle. Now, this is a completely different team just like I promised, so let's just explain it a little bit. I've got an Adamant Life Orb B Sharp, a Sub Calm Mind Caldeo, a Specially Defensive Amoonguss, a Lefties Flame Charge Entei, a Mega Ampharos, and just for fun, I've got a Flare Boost Flame Orb Drifblim. Now looking at my opponent's team, he does have a Smeargle, which I'm assuming is Focus Sash, so I want to take that out as soon as possible because I do not have a Spinner or Defogger. And then for the rest of his team, he has a defensive core of Ferrothorn and Jellicent, which could be difficult if I don't keep B Sharp intact. And then he has a Charizard, which I will find out later that is a Charizard Y, and I'll know exactly why when I tell you a little bit later, but its coverage is enough to destroy a lot of my team, so hopefully I can take that out as soon as possible. Let's see how this battle goes. Now my opponent is NintendoFanBoy for the win, and he gave me a lot of the pokes that I'm using and have in my box, so thank you so much to him, and thank you to so much for the rest of you guys that have been giving me pokes. You guys are amazing. Now we have battled each other a lot, so he knows that I have a Sub Calm Mind Caldeo because he gave it to me, but apparently he forgot. And so he goes for a Dark Void as I go into B Sharp predicting his Jellicent switch. So now my giant threat is asleep and I just need to burn off these sleep turns as soon as possible. But now he brings in Charizard, and this is why I know that it's a Charizard Y, because it's kind of goofy, but everyone that has a shiny Charizard usually wants it to be Charizard Y because Charizard X is automatically black, and so you either want a black Charizard Y or a really cool color change. Nonetheless, this guy unnecessarily goes for the Solar Beam predicting my Caldeo. Like, I honestly think that was way too early to predict, and it really wasn't necessary when a combination of Air Slash and Fire Blast or Flamethrower could definitely take out my Caldeo. Nonetheless, I'm going to go in my Ampharos, and this is really the one thing that can check his Charizard Y, so he is going to play very safely here, and he's going to go into his Ferrothorn. Now, predicting that I'll live anything he has to offer or a switch, I'm just going to go for the Agility. And what I heard was that since I'm Mega Evolving while the speed of regular Ampharos is still there, that apparently double regular Ampharos' speed, but I'm not entirely sure, as opposed to just doubling Mega Ampharos' speed. You guys let me know if you know more about that. Nonetheless, I carry the Focus Blast here. Thankfully I do hit, and I did get a Spadef drop, so I'm thinking maybe from this round I can take him out with the T-Ball. Probably not after all that Lefties and Leech Seed. Nonetheless, I do go for the T-Ball on the switch, and he brings in his Jellicent. I'm max special attack modest. I do a ton there. He has Lefties and Leech Seed coming toward him, so it's going to be relatively close if a T-Ball can take him out, but he does actually go for the recovery here as I just go for T-Ball to take him out. So now the sun is gone, and he can really just bring in his Charizard again anytime soon to bring up the sun once again to make his Fire Blast really strong. Nonetheless, I play my Ampharos really badly here because I'm just going to let it practically die to an Ice Punch here. After Leech Seed, it's probably barely enough HP where I am going to go down from that residual damage. And that was the one thing that could really check Charizard Y, so I'm kind of in a big hump of doo-doo. So I'm going to bring in my Entei here. I'm going for the Sacred Fire just to get as much damage as possible. I know he has Guts, but I really can't go for anything else. His Conkeldurr is probably Assault Vest and just too bulky for my team. And so here, I'm going to predict the Mach Punch because I need as much health as possible, because I'm thinking at the range that Entei is at, that a timid Charizard Y won't be able to take out my Entei even though I don't have bulk. I just have natural bulk from being an Entei. And so here I'm going to predict the switch into his Azumarill. Flare Boost, by the way, boosts your special attack by 1.5 if you are burned. And here he goes for the Aqua Jet. He had no reason not to, and I just go for the T-Ball to finish him off. So I take a lot of residual from this burn, but it's kind of unfortunate that Drifloon has so much HP with very pitiful defenses. Nonetheless, he's going to bring in his Charizard Y here, and he is going to go for the Air Slash and just easily take me out. He probably could have went for the Solar Beam just so he doesn't miss it all, but hey, you know, it happens that he gets that little stroke of luck of not having that 5% miss. Now here's the biggest play of the game. I live the Air Slash with 4 HP, retaliate with a Stone Edge, I hit, and he goes down, and that was honestly the biggest play of the game, because if I flinch there, or if I miss Stone Edge, I would have definitely lost because this was my last chance to even take out that Charizard Y. Here he can easily go for Mach Punch. I was kind of hoping he would overpredict, but nonetheless he really doesn't have a reason to since my Drifloom's gone, and he does have the Ice Punch, so it would do a ton to my Amoonguss since I am specially defensive. Now I kind of forgot this Ferrothorn existed, so I just went for the Giga Drain, not really expecting it to come in. Nonetheless, I go into my B Sharp now, and basically this is where the game kind of really goes into my favor. So I'm able to Swords Dance once I burn enough sleep turns and hopefully can wake up. But right now he is going to go into his Conkeldurr, and basically I need to hope that I can wake up here and go for a nice knockoff, and I do, and I take him out. That was probably his biggest misplay on his part, although I feel like from that range that a Sucker Punch would be able to take him out. But nonetheless, I feel like if he played it a bit more safely and he was able to get my B Sharp asleep with his Smeargle, then I think his Conkeldurr may have been able to pull this off, but nonetheless he did lose it. Now he goes for Dark Void on my Amoonguss. I did want to sleep fodder this and then bring in my B Sharp because here I can just finish him off. By the way, he does carry the Dark Void on his Smeargle because it can put any Pokemon to sleep, as grass types and pokes with the ability Overcoat are immune to Spore. Nonetheless, he goes for his rocks here. I don't know why I went for Toxic Spikes. He really doesn't have much to go against me, and so I'm able to knock down his Sash. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, he goes to the Dark Void here. He's like, can I please break Sleep Claws? It's my only chance. I'm like, after a bit of arguing, I finally let him. And so he's going to bring in his Ferrothorn. He really doesn't have much of a chance anyway though, unless he carries Gyro Ball or even Lacy to try stalling me out. But yeah, I need to burn as much of these sleep turns as possible, hopefully get up a nice Swords Dance, because at this range, I'm not sure if that Ferrothorn is going to be able to live a knockoff. But he's getting a lot of health back now after all these turns. For some reason he goes for Power Whip over Leech Seed, not really sure why. But yeah, as you can see here, go for the knockoff to get his lefties off. And then I'm going to take some Life Orb Recall plus his Power Whip damage, and I'm going to be pretty darn low. Now his Ferrothorn's really low as well, but yeah, now he brings in his Smeargle to sack it, and I die from Life Orb Recoil, and yes, that crit totally mattered. Now, all I have left is Amoonguss, and all he has left is Ferrothorn. But he can Power Whip me, sure, but I Quad Resist, and he can go for Leech Seed, but I'm immune to that, and he has T-Wave, which just makes me slower, which he's already slightly slower than me, so it won't really help because he does carry the Gyro Ball. So this is just going to be a stall fest here because he Quad Resists Giga Drain, but it's only a winning battle for me. Because unless the Gyro Ball just knocks me out, which it's not doing enough at all, it's pretty much just game for me. He can T-Wave me, which just makes me slower than him now. So his Gyro Ball is doing diddly, and my Black Sludge is recovering more than he's doing damage. So that will be a good game. Nintendo Fanboy for the win. Thank you for the pokes. Thank you everyone else that has been giving me pokes. You guys are amazing. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, sub, and until later, peace.